Hi everybody, I'm Psychic Medium Lisa Paron, and I'm here today with the prediction. Today I'm going to talk to you about the eclipses that are happening this summer in 2018. Now, eclipses are celestial events that since the beginning of civilization have indicated change and opportunities, sometimes new beginnings, challenges, and even endings. In ancient times, eclipses were believed to be omens of the future, or even tellers of doom. People believed eclipses were actually evil spirits who attacked the sun and the moon. People would run away screaming at the spirits to go away. In modern times, we now understand the science behind eclipses, but people who are savvy also embrace the wisdom of the past. An eclipse that is triggering and influencing the planets in your horoscope could bring a significant change to your life path. There are 3 eclipses during July and August that could influence mainly the signs of Cancer, Aquarius, and Leo, or those people who have planets in those signs in their horoscope. The effects of the eclipse could be felt by people with with their moon or ascendant also in one of these signs. However, the eclipse this time around and the remainder of the eclipse for 2018 are actually a slightly tamer version of the major eclipses some of you will remember from last year. The solar eclipse that will be happening for the remainder of 2018 are only partial eclipse, so not as powerful in energy as the great American eclipse from last summer in 2017. There is a total lunar eclipse, however. In ancient times, an eclipse was seen as an omen of things to come, and an eclipse's energy can impact an event, triggering 6 months or so before, or up to a year after, in some cases even longer than the actual event date. One thing's for sure, when an eclipse interacts with your planets within a few degrees, they'll bring surprises and major life changes into your life, for good or bad, like it or not. If you have several planets being touched by the energy of the eclipse, your physical body may actually become overheated, sweaty, and feverish. Take it easy and remember this is of a passing nature. Try not to freak out. And try not to give in to fearful or negative thoughts of your own mind, an inferiority complex, or unrealistic expectations, especially a false sense of entitlement. Avoid self-destructive habits, especially with drugs and alcohol. The first eclipse this summer is a solar eclipse in Cancer on July 12th. The solar eclipse is at 20 degrees of Cancer and will bring Cancerian themes into play. The energy of the new moon solar eclipse may stimulate your home life activities, your actual home itself, or your family. People may be focusing more on matters related to their home, property, family, as well as their children if they have them. Some may have the urge to splurge on their pet or fur babies instead. How the energy affects people for good or bad depends on how the eclipse affects the planets in your personal horoscope. There is also other planetary energies at play here that will intensify the feelings that come with this eclipse. Cancer is a sign that represents emotions, and the watery energy of the eclipse will be intensified, mainly because the Sun is in opposition to Pluto, which is retrograde as well. The Sun opposition Pluto will bring intense feelings and possibly bring out some very obsessive behavior in some people. It would be a word to the wise to watch what you say and how you say it, as a lively debate could easily turn into a major argument. Watch in the news I have a prediction for violent outbursts, protests, and people pushing their opinions on others. The weeks leading up to the eclipses, as well as the weeks after, are especially for the first one, has the potential for major conflict or extreme opposition on the world stage. Possibly a world leader will be very angry and defiant, not wanting to stand down, and it's possible more than one world leader will be involved and they're arguing with each other. It's possible United States President Donald Trump will be facing unfavorable publicity once again, and there may be public signs that he and Melania are having difficulties. They're both under some very heavy energies. Other celebrities that might be featured in the news are Beyoncé. I feel Beyoncé may have something happen to her that upsets her very much and makes her very passionate or angered. As well, we have Mars in opposition to the moon's north node, which is also known as the dragon's head or Rahu in Hindu astrology. This is intense energy and will make some people extremely ambitious and full of energy. For other people, this eclipse will make them randy, horny, or looking for action. I predict a lot of hookups this summer. This will also add to the energy of the eclipse and could really cause anger or intense feelings. Another prediction, watching the news for water-related incidents, high tides, floods, and events that happen with things that fly. There could be more wonky plane landings, plane accidents happening for at least a few weeks. But I say for the summer will be quite active for plane incidents. This particular eclipse also happens mostly over open water, but the very bottom of Australia is being touched by this eclipse, particularly around Adelaide, Melbourne, all of Tasmania, as well as the very southern tip of the South Island of New Zealand in the Tasman Sea. It's possible that the unpredictable energy of this eclipse, that there could be severe weather, possibly an earthquake, or some kind of violent incident in this area. The second eclipse is a lunar eclipse in Aquarius on July 27th. The lunar eclipse will be very similar to the Aquarius eclipse back in February earlier this year. This is a full moon lunar eclipse, and it's generally more of an emotional nature than the solar eclipse, and this will bring changes or issues with partners, partnerships, relationships, and marriage. The total lunar eclipse this time is also known as the blood moon, and this energy may be a time when you will have to reevaluate your partnerships or perhaps make improvements to them. It's a lovely time for positive change and working things out, but sometimes life brings hard lessons and some relationships, unfortunately, will end. The blood moon is also a very powerful energy that can be used for manifestation, for magic and witchcraft. The eclipse will bring Aquarian themes into play, such as large groups of people, organizations, the LGBTQ community, space, science and technology, as well as air travel. We may hear news involving more protests, uprising, this is another prediction, humanitarian groups, new technology and scientific achievement, possibly space travel, space discovery, and maybe even more stories about UFOs. The truth is out there. There are other planetary energies also to consider as well, such as Venus is actually in a very harmonious aspect with Pluto, which could bring a new relationship or opportunity with money or employment. This is a good thing to have a bit of stability, because we also have a little volatile happening as well. The Sun is in opposition to Mars which will amplify and add fuel to the fire of the lunar eclipse. Sorry to say, but for some people, this week before and after the eclipse will be a very emotional and upsetting time. There's a strong indication of extreme opposition, arguments, and possible violence or danger. If you're in a situation that sounds like this, do your best to get away as quick as possible, if only for a brief time, until things cool off anyway. The sun is also right beside the moon's north node, also known as the dragon's head or Rahu in Hindu astrology. This will be a major turning point in some people's destinies when their life path changes significantly. World predictions for this summer are also watch in the news for violent eruptions, possibly with a demonstration getting out of hand and it's suddenly a riot. There'll be more delays and anger surrounding air travel, questionable plane landings and accidents, as well as the possibility of an outbreak or airborne virus. There is the possibility of a large-scale computer hack, explosions, earthquakes, and shootings or gun-related injuries. If you must travel, especially around the couple of weeks of this eclipse, give yourself plenty of time and take your time. Try to plan ahead. There's a strong possibility for more people expressing road rage, delays, and unexpected construction, as well as cancellations, incidents, or accidents for air travel. And then we have the third and final eclipse of 2018, and that's on August 11th, and it is a solar eclipse in the sign of Leo. This eclipse will bring up issues that will have a lioness feel to them, such as fun, leisure time, outings, vacations and trips, maybe a trip to the casino. The solar eclipse in Leo is actually the tamest of the three eclipses this summer, and there are no major negative planetary influences with it. Yay! Hallelujah! The only thing is Mercury is in square to Jupiter, which is not always a negative thing. This may make people a little over-optimistic or boastful, a little too proud, but it's not a major influence. There's also a possibility of people exaggerating or shooting their mouth off, not knowing the facts, but repeating false or fake news anyway. My advice is to really question what you hear, because it might not be totally accurate. As well, we have Mars in conjunct or close also to the asteroid Lilith, which could make independent women even more fixed in their ways. My strong advice, especially to men, is to get through the eclipse season as smooth as possible, is do not tell a woman what to do or try to mansplain something, or you will be sorry. Women will be standing up for themselves, and they will not be backing down. It's possible a lot more women will join the Me Too movement. Prediction for Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, sexual predator and accused rapist, faces another date in court on July 30th. I do not believe he will have a good day in court, and he will face stern and harsh judgment. More women might come forward. I predict that Harvey Weinstein eventually will be found guilty and go to jail. It may not be right away, though. Harvey's case might be delayed or take quite some time, but by the end of the year, I predict he will be found guilty and he will be facing jail time for a very long time. By December 25th, 2019, Harvey Weinstein will be in jail. Bye-bye, Harvey. There are also some other very favorable aspects surrounding this eclipse, especially for love, including Venus in harmony with the moon's node, which could bring a love into some people's life that feels like destiny and karma. This is actually very favorable energy to influence the day. in a much more positive light, as well as the months ahead in the future. Just not for Harvey, because the planets are not smiling on him. Jupiter is tuned into Neptune as well, which could really accelerate and activate some people's psychic awareness and perception to a higher level. And finally, we have Saturn, the planet most associated with karma and past lives, is in a very harmonious angle to normally unpredictable Uranus, which could bring long-term stability to a chaotic situation or a new innovation in technology or space travel. It's possible a new, I want to say a robot or artificial intelligence will be revealed that could greatly benefit mankind. There's also the possibility of more solid evidence of UFOs being revealed or disclosure becoming a reality about UFOs. Prepare yourself. The future is now, and they're here. This particular solar eclipse will be visible in Canada, Greenland, Scotland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Estonia, and Latvia. Most of Russia will also be able to observe this eclipse, as well as Kazakhstan, Mongolia, China, as well as North and South Korea. The most powerful phase of the path of this eclipse will be in the eastern Siberian Sea near Wrangel Island. Also, prediction news this summer may be lacking all the information once again. More fake news facts, or the news is exaggerated in some way. Also, on a personal level, be on the lookout for scam artists and people representing themselves in a false way, such as on social media profiles asking you to be friends with you. Be careful. There's a lot of weirdos. Expect to hear also in the news secrets revealed, more hackers, like I said, world leaders changing or having fall from grace, as well as the passing of a world leader, famous celebrity, or possibly someone of royalty. There are many more sex scandals going to be exposed. And I also believe the countries of the United States, United Kingdom, and North Korea, as I mentioned earlier, would be featured in the news. I see the possibility that the crown is passed to another member of the royal family of England, or news of it soon to be arrived. And I believe another naughty secret will be revealed about a member of the royal family, possibly Meghan Markle's family, a VIP, or a celebrity with a regal air or name. Other celebrities that will be in the news this year will be Ed Sheeran, The Weeknd, Paris Hilton, Dr. Dre, John Travolta, and Yoko Ono may be featured in the news. Solar eclipse effects may be felt months and prior up to a year or more following this event. Don't worry, eclipses are just little bumps in the road. They happen all the time and we get through it. They're all of a passing nature and everything's going to be just fine. Everything happens for a reason, even if you don't understand it now. Just go through it as calmly and flexible as possible. How might these eclipses this summer affect you and your sign? Click on the link below and come to my website, and you can see how each eclipse will affect your sun sign, what house it will fall in your horoscope, and an explanation of each.